It was a sunny afternoon, but the calm of the countryside was interrupted by the sound of an engine coughing to a stop. Sister Martha and Sister Judith exchanged worried glances. Their old car, a vehicle donated to their parish years ago, had broken down in the middle of nowhere. Far from any town and with no phone signal, the two nuns assessed the situation with quiet determination. "I think it's the battery," said Sister Martha, the younger of the two, as she peered under the hood. "We can't just sit here," replied Sister Judith, her calm demeanor shaped by years of experience. "We've got supplies to deliver. The orphanage is counting on us." After pulling the supplies out of the trunk and placing them on the roadside, the sisters decided to ask for a ride. They hastily made a sign that read, "Help please," and stood by the car, hoping for the best. Before long, a large truck pulled up beside them. The driver, a scruffy man with a thick beard and a worn-out cap, leaned out of the window. "Well, this is a first. Nuns stranded on the side of the road," he said with a chuckle. Sister Martha smiled politely. "Our car broke down. We need to deliver these supplies to an orphanage nearby. Could you help us?" The man hesitated, glancing at the nuns and their supplies. Then he nodded. "Hop in. I can't leave you out here." Grateful, the nuns climbed into the truck. The driver, who introduced himself as Marco, started the engine and resumed his journey. At first, the ride was quiet. Marco wasn't used to company, let alone nuns, and struggled to find the right words. Finally, he broke the silence with a sheepish grin. "Not every day you give a ride to nuns." Sister Judith chuckled. "And we don't often ride in trucks. Thank you for stopping." The ice broken, their conversation began to flow naturally. Marco shared stories of his 20 years as a truck driver, a job he loved despite the struggles. Lately, though, things had gotten tough. Rising costs, unpaid deliveries, and mounting debt threatened to cost him his truck. "If I lose the truck, I lose everything," Marco admitted, his voice heavy with frustration. "It's the only way I can support my family." Sister Judith nodded empathetically. "Life often surprises us when we least expect it. Don't lose hope." Marco smirked. "Hope doesn't pay the bills." Sister Martha offered a gentle smile. "Maybe not, but sometimes a little faith and a helping hand can change everything." As they neared the orphanage, the sisters asked if Marco could take a slight detour. Though pressed for time, he agreed. "An extra hour won't kill me," he said, masking his kindness with humor. When they arrived, the children rushed out, waving excitedly. The sight touched Marco more than he expected. "Come inside," Sister Martha urged. "There's someone we'd like you to meet." Inside, Marco was introduced to Father Elijah, the kind director of the orphanage. The priest thanked Marco for his help and spoke with deep sincerity. "Sometimes God sends us the right people at the right time." Marco was skeptical, but followed Father Elijah to a small room filled with envelopes, notebooks, and colorful letters. The priest explained how the children and community wrote letters seeking help, and every now and then, a miracle happened. Someone responded. "We reached out to help someone this time," Sister Judith said, her tone soft but firm. Father Elijah handed Marco an envelope. "We heard about your struggles and gathered this to help you. It's enough to pay off your debts and keep your truck." Marco stared at the envelope, stunned. "I can't accept this. I didn't do anything to deserve it." "It's not about deserving," Sister Judith said. "It's about helping each other when it's needed most." Tears filled Marco's eyes as he opened the envelope. The weight of the community's trust and kindness overwhelmed him. "I don't know how to thank you," he said. "You can thank us by never giving up," Father Elijah replied. The nuns and children waved goodbye as Marco drove off, the envelope in his pocket and a newfound sense of purpose in his heart. Over the following days, Marco paid off his debts and began looking for ways to give back. His first act of kindness came when he saw a stranded family on the roadside. He stopped to help them, just as the nuns had once needed help. That moment sparked a change in Marco. He started seeing every day as a chance to do good. In time, Marco formed an association of truck drivers dedicated to helping those in need. Together, they delivered supplies to disaster-stricken areas and supported struggling families. Marco often visited the orphanage, his bond with the children and nuns growing stronger. One day, during a ceremony at the orphanage, Sister Martha spoke to the gathered crowd. "This story reminds us that even the smallest acts of kindness can change lives," she said. Marco, moved but humbled, stood to speak. I thought I was helping two nuns stranded on the road that day. I didn't realize they were the ones helping me find a new purpose. As the sun set, Marco climbed back into his truck, ready for another delivery. He knew his life had been transformed, not by money, but by the trust and kindness of others. Kindness has the power to transform both the giver and the receiver. Be the change you wish to see.
Subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification for more stories like this, and give this video a thumbs up. Click on this next interesting story.